Welcome back. In this tutorial, we're going to learn about the Revolve command. As the name implies, the revolve is a type of extrusion that's generated around an axis at an angle that you specify. The polyline command is active. Let's toggle ortho on. Place a line. Right-click, scroll to arc. Place a second arc. Arc number 3. Right-click, back to line. And right-click and enter to exit the polyline command. Now let's create a few more lines. And we're almost ready to activate the Revolve command. Right-click and enter to close the line tool. Let's click on the Extrude flyout arrow, scroll down a revolve, left-click to select it. Let's apply the revolve to my polyline, right-click and enter to finish the selection. Now we define the axis of revolution. We'll choose a first point and a second point. And my third click determines the angle of revolution, which we can preview as we mouse around here. Let's undo. And let me switch to realistic view style. Activate the line command. Let's drop a line between this point and this point. Back to the Revolve command. Let's select my polyline and the new line. Right-click to finish the selection. Now define the axis of revolution with 2 clicks. And lastly, the angle of revolution. Since we don't have a closed profile, we ended up with surfaces, not a solid. And let's undo that. Let's use the Edit Polyline tool to turn these entities into a closed profile. Right-click, select Multiple. Select the polyline and the line. Convert lines, etc. to polylines, yes. Join option. Fuzz distance, 0. Enter to accept, and escape to execute. And now we have a single closed profile. Activate the Revolve command. Select my profile. If I want, I can create surfaces. Let's right-click and scroll to Mode. And we choose Solid or Surface. Next, we define the axis of revolution. As you can see, we're still working with surfaces. Third click defines the angle of revolution. Let's undo. Activate the Revolve command again. Step 1, select the object to revolve. Right-click and enter to finish the selection. Now for the axis, right-click and select Object. And we'll select this line. And here's our preview. Left-click to place the angle of revolution. As you see, we're now dealing with a solid. Let's take a look at some of the other contextual options. Reverse. Now the revolve goes in the opposite direction. Back to the contextual menu, right-click, select Start Angle. And let's input a value of, say, 45 degrees. Enter to accept. And as you see down below, we have the option to specify a different start angle or enter an expression. I'm also able to enter the angle value manually. Let's say 60 degrees. Enter to accept. And let's undo. Activate the Revolve command again. This time we'll select these 3 lines as our objects to revolve. As you can see, they are separate lines. Right-click and enter to finish my selection. Ortho mode is toggled on as a reminder. Now we're ready to define the axis. Let's select arbitrary points. And we end up with 3 different surfaces. As you can see, the Revolve is also a powerful and flexible tool which lets you create pretty complex solids and surfaces. This concludes our tutorial about the Revolve command.